Once, in the heart of a vibrant city, lived Elena and Lucas. Their love was electric, intense, and all-consuming. They had met at a gallery opening, where Elena's fiery red dress had caught Lucas' eye. From the moment they locked eyes, it was as though the world melted away, leaving just the two of them in a charged silence that pulled them together. Their connection went beyond words, beyond casual gestures of affection. It was a raw, magnetic force that neither of them could resist. From the very beginning, their relationship was defined by passion, by the way their bodies spoke more clearly than their voices. They found solace and excitement in each other's touch, their love fueled by an insatiable desire that led them into a whirlwind of sexual obsession. Every moment together felt urgent. They would meet in secret corners of the city, steal moments during their lunch breaks, and spend long, sleepless nights wrapped around each other, their hands tracing paths over familiar yet ever-exciting terrain. What they shared was wild and unrestrained, an addiction they couldn't break free from, even if they wanted to. But with every high, came a subtle, creeping darkness. At first, their passion felt like freedom and escape from the ordinary world. They reveled in their stolen moments, the heat of their encounters consuming them like a fire that couldn't be tamed. But slowly, the intoxicating obsession began to erode the very foundation of their relationship. What had once been a mutual joy began to feel more like a need, a compulsion neither could escape. Elena felt it first. The sense that something was wrong, that their connection, once so rich and multifaceted, had been reduced to nothing more than fleeting gratification. She missed the conversations they once had, the way they could make each other laugh until their sides hurt. Now, everything felt singularly focused on feeding their desire, and she started to wonder if that was all they had left. Lucas, too, began to notice the shift, though he tried to ignore it. He didn't want to admit that the passion he once thrived on was starting to feel like a weight pulling them both down. They would go days without talking about anything real, their silences filled only by their bodies in motion. He began to wonder if they had lost themselves in the process, becoming slaves to their own desires. One night, after a particularly intense encounter, they lay in silence, side by side, the air thick with unspoken words. Elena turned to Lucas, her voice barely a whisper. "Is this all we are now? Just this?" Her words hung in the air like a cold mist, and Lucas felt his chest tighten. He had asked himself the same question countless times but had never found the courage to voice it. "I don't know," he admitted, his voice rough with emotion. "I don't want it to be, but it feels like we've lost something, doesn't it?" Elena nodded, tears welling in her eyes. They had built their love on passion, but now it felt like it was suffocating them, blinding them to the deeper connection they once had. They had become addicts to the very thing that had once made their love so beautiful. In the days that followed, they tried to pull themselves out of the cycle. They began to focus on each other again, beyond the physical. They went on long walks, talked about their hopes and dreams, and rediscovered the simple joys of being together. It wasn't easy. There were moments when the pull of their old habits was almost too strong to resist. But they both knew that if they wanted their love to survive, they needed to rebuild the emotional connection they had lost. Gradually, the intensity of their physical relationship softened, replaced by something deeper, something more enduring. They learned to be vulnerable with each other in ways they hadn't before, sharing their fears, their insecurities, and their hopes for the future. Elena and Lucas realized that love was more than just the burning passion they had once been addicted to. It was about the quiet moments, the shared laughter, the way they could hold each other and feel safe, even in silence. Their love had been tested by their obsession, but in the end, they found their way back to each other, stronger and more whole than before. What they shared now was no longer an addiction. It was a bond, a true connection that went beyond desire.